Today I'm going to demonstrate how we're going to pull the bark off of a tree. Now, why would you want to do that? There's many different ways to, or things you can utilize the bark from a tree, whether especially in a survival situation to aid in building shelter, like shingling a shelter or something like that, or making the containers to carry things. The project that I'm building or I'm working on is to make a quiver for my traditional archery. I want a bark quiver is what I'm making, and this is about the size tree that I'm going to go with on this one. This one is a tulip poplar. I kind of like the look of the bark off of it. Some trees peel better than others, and the thing to remember is when you start out something like this, for one, you're going to kill the tree. So this is a tree that's on a bank, that's a sapling that had grown up. I actually let it get to certain sizes so that I can utilize it, and once it's peeled the bark, it's going to be dead anyways. So in a few months I was going to clear this area out for off the bank of this pond. So I'm going to go ahead and utilize this bark now. So in the spring is the best time to do peel bark. Spring to early summer. Once you get into summer, the bark wants to set, and it's really tough to peel off in the summer months. But while everything's still the staff's still running good and everything in here, before like the dry portion of the summer sets in, you want to go after your bark. It's at least the best time. So what I'm doing on this one, I'm going to cut around here and around the top about the size that I'm looking for, and then I'm just going to split, take a knife and split down and pop it off. You can use all kinds of tools if you're in a survival situation, regular old pocket knife or something. It's just a matter of getting down to the bark and the inner bark and making that cut. So you can actually use, I can use my Gerber, and I can go ahead and start cutting about where I want it to be at. I'd say a good nice straight thing for my quiver. My project I'm working on is about right in here. So that's where I'm going to go for it. So I'm going to start cutting around here with this, and like I said, make a cut completely around the tree, all the way down into the inner part of the wood. Alright, so I got that bottom cut done. I'm going to go ahead and cut quite a bit more up. That way I can actually inspect the bark after it's done to do that. So I'm going to go quite a bit higher than this, probably out of the camera view. Okay, I finished up making the top cut. The cut that I'm going to go down, as you notice in here, there you'll see like what places where old limbs were that had grown over, little knotty looking sections. I'm going to try and pick a straight line in between some of that stuff, because what I'm going to do is I'm going to take some cordage and I'm going to sew that back together again and make a tube same size as this thing is. So now that I made my score down through here, basically all I'm going to do is take my knife and get up underneath there, and you can see that all I'm doing is popping the bark off. You can see how it's peeling out. Even with the knot, those limb plots. And this works pretty well the same way with a bigger tree. So once I peel this around, actually I can get underneath there and pry. You may have to assist it, maybe you didn't cut all the way through at the bottom or the top. Work your cut. So you're just opening this up. I'll work all the way to the top. Okay, now that I separated all this round and I popped it all loose, you probably pretty well, it's loose at the top and the bottom. Just work it in around that. And now, you see that? I'm going to probably trim this one up here and maybe size it up to where I want to, how big a quiver or how round I want this quiver to be at. Whether it be that big, I might trim some of it off So that's pretty well the gist of popping this bark off a tree, and now you got a piece of material that you can utilize. The thing of it is, you want to utilize it while it's still wet. It hasn't dried out all the way and it's still pretty pliable. Like I said earlier, this project here, I'm building myself a quiver for my arrows, bark container quiver. Catch up with that video later on.